Good evening, and welcome to Here's the Deal. I'm messing with my earphones. I wasn't ready, Marv. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. You
All
got
right.
your cyborg ears on yet?
I'm going to try and see if they don't fall. Yep.
Oh,
How
so
you doing tonight, bud?
good. Kind of a fast show tonight. We got kind of a busy couple weeks ahead of us. So,
We
um,
sure do.
yeah, we do. Uh, Excited about what we got coming up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so tonight's more of kind of a recap of where we're at, where we're going, what we got coming up for you guys. Um, it's been a lot of good district interviews so far, don't you think? Well, we've
I
got
think so. Yep.
District 30. We had Philip with District 32. We had District 8 on with Magram and crew. Um, District 16 was on with us already. I talked with Representative Ruby today. We should have him on in the next couple weeks and possibly the rest of the District 40 candidates with him. But I know Matt's confirmed for sure. He's just got to find some time on his schedule. So that should be awesome. So, yeah, more legislative candidates. I'm more looking forward to tomorrow night, Shilo. Our
What's going on tomorrow night?
our district endorsing convention is on. For you folks that are out there and watching tonight, I'm in District 47, which is in Bismarck, which means we should have most of the statewide candidates there. And I'm hoping that we can go live and kind of broadcast their speeches for everyone, just so you can hear what they got to say if you didn't make a chance to make it out to your own endorsing conventions. Or if your endorsing conventions haven't come up yet. Something that I've been kind of kicking around, Shiloh, and I'm not sure why it is the way it is, but DPI is supposed to be a nonpartisan seat, correct?
Correct.
And when it comes to the conventions, they can go speak at both of them. They don't get the traditional endorsement that's attached to it, but they get a letter of recommendation. But what I was kind of wondering, and I'm gonna have to look into further, I gotta put a call into Leanne, is why, if it's nonpartisan, is it on the primary and then on the general election? You'd think as a nonpartisan seat, we should be able to have all the DPI candidates roll straight through to November.
That's a good question.
So that'll be one that we'll have coming up. I think I'll call Leanne up at the Secretary of State's office, find out why the century code is that way. I think as we have legislators that come on because they write the laws that are attached to our elections, it may not be a bad question to ask them too. Why, as a nonpartisan seat, do we see that one in a primary where it's eliminating candidates and then again in the general election? I personally wouldn't mind seeing 4 or 5 candidates in November versus trying to quick sort everybody out before June. So, but yeah, tomorrow with the endorsing convention, I'm hoping that we see Kirsten Baszler. I hope we see Beetle there. It should be interesting to see if we see Kelly Armstrong or Kevin Kramer come on. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Christman with the PSC. So we'll just go live and let them talk. And if you have some comments in the background, I won't be able to hear them, but our audience definitely will. So it'll be a good time to sit down and take notes.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
You know, that DPI position, that's going to be highly contested, I think.
Yep.
Obviously, we got 2 people running. There's
2 announced so far.
Yeah, 2 announced so far. We got possibly some others, so that's going to be highly contested, and I'm glad to see that, honestly, because that position really, there needs to be a lot of improvement. If not, it needs just to be eliminated. It's kind of however you want to look at it, but there is definitely a lot of room for improvement there.
Be careful with saying the elimination of the seat, though, because a couple years ago they tried merging DPI into Health and Human Services, and that's the last thing that we need. because
Okay.
the Health and Human Services isn't an elected position. Um, in 21, we tried getting it as an elected position because that's an awful lot of money for somebody that's just
Yep.
appointed to with no response or owes nothing to the public. So
Yeah.
so careful with saying that should be eliminated because
Well,
that's
eliminated means eliminated. It doesn't mean
yeah,
being merged with another,
yeah,
department. So
yeah.
one of the things that I'm looking forward to next week, Tuesday. So remember, if you folks remember at the end of our show on Friday, we were talking about the Bridge to Nowhere and the Short Ranch. And it just so happened, I don't know how it happened, and just good luck, I guess. When that all started, oh, I would imagine it's been quite a while. Luke was still on the show, and we'd reached out to the Short family, and they weren't able to come on at that point because of litigation and different things. But Saturday morning, I got a phone call from Dave Short himself, and he's got the okay now, so he is going to be on our show Tuesday. And I'll encourage you guys to go to our website at htdpodcastnd.com because we will be posting some documents there that is about this case. And so we're going to have a very good conversation with him. I'm looking forward to that and getting the word out there because you guys want to talk about eminent domain and property rights. This right here is a classic example of what's going on. And I guess I didn't know, but I was informed tonight, Marvin, that the county that they're going against only has 3 commissioners. Does that sound does that sound correct? And I guess it has something to do with the population or the lack thereof population. But the county that they're going against, it has only has 3 commissioners. So that's something I want to ask Dave about, and we'll go from there. But
I guess
there's lots of questions and concerns on this case.
yeah.
I'm not going to say too much until we get everything aligned, and we'll get stuff posted on our website before the show. But this is going to be a very good show. I'm looking forward to having Dave on and talking about this. So
Yeah, it's kind of crazy considering you look at Benedict, they got 4 city council members and a mayor for a town of what 70 some people.
yeah.
So that I'll have to pull up the county bylaws and see what it says because as far as I know, you should have 5 on a seat. But
Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought too. But and then the other thing, and again, we'll talk to Dave about this, is uh, um according to the conversation that I was having, it is to be said that the neighboring county where this road goes to has no idea what's going on as far as this bridge and them wanting to take the land from the Shorts and stuff, and having the road go through their county as well. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to it. This is probably, I don't know, gosh, it's got to be all of 9 months or 10 months since I last talked to Dave. And of course, he couldn't talk about it because of litigation, which I understand. So I was very, it was just kind of ironic because we talked about it on Friday at the closing of the show. And the very next day, I get a phone call from him. So he's excited about being on, and so we'll help get his word out and message out and go from there. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up right quick is my district, District 2, their endorsing convention, Republican endorsing convention is on Saturday, the 24th of February at 3 p.m., the Tioga Community Center. And from the advertising that I've seen, Josh Gallion will be there speaking as well. So that District 2 is the 24th of February, 3 p.m., the Tioga Community Center. So,
well, and you guys just had another candidate announce up there too, didn't you? Because you have
yes.
running for Senate and then the website went up yesterday for Alexa. Not,
Yes. Alexa, I can't say her last name. You know what? How how to say it? Pronounce it?
I believe you pronounce it Garo,
Okay.
Garro. So, but no, that'll be interesting too because you guys need new representation up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It'll be interesting to see what happens. That's for sure. So supposedly the incumbents, Bert Anderson and Don Longmire, are going to skip the endorsing convention, according to the article that they put in the Crosby paper. But we'll have to see
well,
how that all plays out.
we just saw that in District 30. I mean, the incumbents skipped convention and they're intending to primary out against the challengers. So,
Yeah.
well, he endorsed, and we saw that in 22 as well. I mean, look at District 8. Naring lost the endorsing convention, and him, McCarthy, and the other guy all tried to primary out Magrum, Olson, and Pritchard. So it's a nifty new tactic. Not really excited about it. So, and my primary challenge was different, folks. I announced too late to be able to get endorsed at the state convention, but it's also why I went to primary instead of going independent because I didn't feel like dealing with the rule of if I decide to run again, I can't get endorsed for 6 years.
Right.
So yeah, that's interesting too. The other thing I'm excited about next week, and this just popped up a couple weeks ago, Health Freedom North Dakota is back up and running, folks. If you're not familiar with them, they were champions for the people in 2021 for the legislative session when it came to the mask mandates, the lockdowns, stuff like that. They've been kind of on a sabbatical for the last couple years. Lexi Wangler's been heading that up and was doing an amazing job, but their family gained additions, and it's been quiet for a little bit, but she's going to be on with us next week Friday to talk about what they're doing, what their plans are moving forward. They did amazing things in 21, and I can't wait to see what they do next. One of the things that they did do during session in 21 was they got Del Bigtree down here. They got Megan. I'm drawing a blank on Megan's last name right now, and Tammy Clark in to talk. They're OSHA experts. They're amazing people to deal with, and they were great to talk to too. Oh, Kristen Megan Kelly. Did I say that right? I'm getting yelled at from another room. But anyway, Alexis is going to be on with us talking about their plans moving forward. That'll be fantastic. This Friday, we have a guest that's going to be on with us. I don't want to tell you who it is yet, just because they haven't announced what they're doing, but it is going to be an interesting show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see another hat in the ring, so to speak.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at with stuff, Shiloh. I thought we had somebody 2 Tuesdays out, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. But we're going to be busy, folks.
Yep. And I imagine there's going to be some days where we add or take away a show because of someone's schedule
Yeah.
if we can't get some of these candidates on. But our goal is to get as many candidates on as we can.
If you follow us on our Facebook page, I did post the GOP calendar on there today. It's just the straight link that's got the list of all the district endorsing conventions. It came through my email today, so I grabbed it right away, got it up on to our Facebook page. So if you're in a district, you haven't had your endorsing convention yet, and you want to know where it's at, it's up and posted so you guys can grab it.
Do you want to post that on the website as well, or is that something that can be? Okay.
Yeah, I should be able to get that up on the website tomorrow. So
Okay. Well, I know when we had Kid on the other night, we had some people that had their feathers ruffled, and I guess my comment to that is that, even back when Luke and I started the show, we wanted to get information out, and it's easy to sit here and, you know, complain or whatever the case may be. And I know that our views aren't always popular, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree. Um, I guess the moral of the story is as many of these candidates as we can get on, we're going to get on, and it's, you know, doesn't matter what our view is on things. We can agree to disagree. I can attest for myself, and I can tell Marvin as well. I mean, we're going to be respectful to people. They have the right to say what they want to say and get their message across, and I'm not going to um, put them down or however you want to say that. So, for those of you who got your feathers ruffled, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but we're not always going to agree on the issues, and that's all right. And that's part of what makes this world go round. Um, so I don't know if you have anything to comment on that, Marvin, but
Well, my Telegram's been splotchy for the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so. There's some stupid update I missed.
mhm,
I did log in Saturday on Sarah's and check it out, and I saw where people were coming from on certain things.
mhm,
But the thing I don't like on Telegram is half the people that are on there use aliases. So unless you don't have their phone number saved, you don't exactly know who you're talking with. Um, when I log back in from my side of things, once I got mine up and running again, like I saw the names of everybody that was involved as their actual name
mhm,
because I did have their phone numbers saved. And I can understand where people were getting upset. Um, but at the same point, without knowing the entire story that was behind Kit's story, um,
right,
which is something, oh, that's like 2 shows worth of material just with what's going on in District 20 over the last decade.
yeah.
The last
And
2
I'm not
elections.
even necessarily. I'll just stop you right there. I'm not even talking about the Telegram page. I'm just talking about the show.
Oh, yeah.
There's just. I mean, people are going to conduct themselves how they want to. There's some people that have been at this for a very long time and are very passionate. And I mean, heck, I'm even guilty of it. You guys have all seen me get passionate about things, and I guess what I'm just trying to say is that that's why we started the show is to get the message out. We don't all have to agree. I mean, obviously, there's been issues that Marvin and I have brought up with petitions and different things like that, and it wasn't the popular opinion, um, and that's fine. That's fine. And so that's kind of where I was going with it. To be honest with you, I didn't really pay attention to the Telegram, the page that day. I was very busy at work and different things like that. So, but I'm mostly talking about the show and having people on here. And I honestly hope that we can get people on here that have difference in opinion. I mean,
Well, and that's we can't say that we're a show that's pro-Constitution and then limit free speech.
right.
With our QX, we're listed as free speech. With our Rumble, we're listed as free speech. With our YouTube,
Hmm.
we're listed as free speech. And so you
Right.
can't say you support the Constitution and then take things down just because you don't agree with something. And
Yeah.
even like the North Dakota Constitution, I mean, you have Article 1, Section 4. Every man may freely write, speak, and publish his opinions on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that privilege. In all
Hmm.
civil and criminal trials for libel, the truth may be given in evidence. So, I mean, we can agree to disagree. I don't like resorting to name calling. I don't like
Right.
resorting to belittling. I don't like resorting to attacking.
Oh,
Um,
I agree.
I know you agree with that too. But if you take things as a sample and not as a whole, it makes it really hard sometimes to understand where we're coming from. Like if you grab a 30-second snippet from the show and that's what you're clutching to,
Yeah.
watch the rest of it once.
Well, yeah, look at us. We've been called crazy. We've been called a bunch of do nothings and low testosterone, and I mean the list goes on and on. Which, whatever, that's their opinion. Whatever the case may be, they don't need to watch if they don't want to watch. We're still gonna do what we're doing, and so be it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, people see about 5% of what we actually work on, Shiloh, and
yeah,
5 to 10%. So a difference of opinion should spark discussion and debate, not belittlement and name calling. Very, very good point, Raylan.
I would agree with that.
So, but it's why we also don't clap at other people either. Like, not a fan that what's going on with K Fire, but you don't hear me dogging on them every show. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, we try not to. I mean, obviously, I've been very vocal about some of the people like Kevin Kramer, um, stuff. So, but I'll I always try not to go personal. Their voting record and the way they vote is fair game as far as I'm concerned. And of course, Kevin Kramer's a little bit different too, obviously, with what happened with Ian and Deputy Paul Martin. And you know, there's a lot of people out there that think that he could have handled that a lot better than he did. And I'll just leave it at that. But you
yeah,
know, I am not a perfect person either, and but I always try and keep it to where it's about what they're voting on, right?
yep,
I learned that a long time ago, or not a long time ago, probably about 4 years ago when I really started getting involved. So,
yeah.
but
Well, I mean, you look at okay over the last 4 years. Um, some of the big groups that we had that fell apart. The Health Freedom kind of went quiet, yes. But we
hmm
had North Dakota Freedom Defenders. Justin Saibo created a great group. He was working on a website. He was working on a lot of really good conservative movement stuff from behind the scenes. Um, that one has since dissolved. I know he had his uh, 501c3, I think is what it was, uh,
hmm
as a political action committee and that stuff in place. Um, Justin's gone on to do other things at the moment. He's doing a lot of things for the community, which is awesome. He's got a different charity that's going where he's collecting shoes for homeless, for families that are more in need. So, I mean, he's still doing stuff. It's just the politics kind of eats you up and chews you up and spits you out. Another big
very
one that
much
we
so.
had was North Dakota Freedom Defenders, led by Kendi Chase, which was an amazing advocate when it came to getting people to the city council meetings during the 2020 lockdowns, to getting people up to legislative session when it came time for bill testimonies and stuff like that. And Kendi was an absolute rock star at that. She is since that group disbanded too, and she's now living halfway across the country because she found a new path to her life. So
hmm
when I saw that Alexis was getting Health Freedom North Dakota up and running again, that that was a spark of hope for me. Um, so that's why I'm so excited about next week Friday, is just because of what that organization did for you folks, and you don't even realize.
hmm
So, um, but you also look, there's the other groups that kind of hang out there. Um, on Facebook, we have Nicole's group, that she currently renamed to the Prove Me Wrong status.
hmm
We're actually hoping to have Nicole on here pretty soon, folks.
Yeah.
Reached out to her the other day, so we're trying to find a good day for her on her schedule to come on and talk about what she's uncovered so far in Williston. We're going to give her an hour of our time too, for sure. Um,
I
but
imagine that's going to go longer than an hour.
she likes to keep her videos short, though, Shiloh. Don't forget that.
Well, that's true. That's
but
true. But
it's one of those things where, um, even a group that I'm involved with, but we haven't been as active as we were during the 21 cycle, was the For the People Not the Party page on Facebook, where
hmm
we're posting more. These are your events. This is your information. This is what you need to know. And it wasn't about party lines. It was about more protecting our rights as citizens of North Dakota and the United States than anything.
Right.
So, and that page, like, I'm no longer an admin on or anything like that, but there's still a lot of good material that comes through there. And that's always been my big mission, is presenting facts, whether you want to think it's crazy or not. Like, here's the facts, folks. So,
How many times a week do you think you get called crazy?
oh, daily, absolutely. But
I hear you.
when your brain works in probability,
Right.
look at all the outcomes. Yeah, you get called crazy because you see a lot of worst case scenarios right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, worst case scenarios on mask mandates coming into play.
Yep. I
So,
hear you.
like,
So
yeah.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Um, so as you know, we had Kid on last night, and she was kind of talking about things you brought up for the people, not the party. Um, it kind of resonated with me a little bit about, getting people involved in different things. Because if you remember Steve Friska, he's been on a couple times. He was on
Yep.
once with you, I think, when you joined the show and stuff, and sometimes in his Bible study, he does a Bible study every Tuesday morning at 6:30. And anyway, a cheap plug for him. Uh, he talks about some of the people that are gonna help save this nation, and one of the quotes is that, and I'm paraphrasing again, is basically it's gonna take the believers and the people who are all tattooed up and pierced up and all that, and patriots. That's the people that are gonna save this country. Believers and people that don't look like believers is basically what he was trying to get to. And so I had a conversation with Kit, after the show as well, and she referred me to a young rapper, and he's all tatted up and stuff. Someone that you would not think knows too much about politics or what's going on. I don't remember what his name is, Todd something. I have his videos. Anyway, getting back to the point is we were talking about that and what it's going to take for us to bring our country back. And to her point is not to, because she's running independent, right? And not to maybe get into the party thing, but just run on your principles and your beliefs, be principled and different things. And it's kind of funny because it all fell together for me, because this weekend Luke posted something. It was an old post from the Minuteman about why he didn't work out in the legislature because he was too principled. And I guess again I'm just paraphrasing in different things, but maybe that's what we need to get back to, Marvin.
Well,
Being principled and not so much about the parties and.
and the thing is like the Republican platform is amazing.
Mhm. Very much so.
Everything in the core platform should be something any citizen of North Dakota can get behind.
Yep.
And I really, where we started with the for the people, not the party, was to identify candidates because of the upcoming redistricting, stuff like that, where they were going to be willing to represent the people of their district, not to represent the businesses that were going to try and put money into their pocket. And that's the PACs, and that's all the other garbage that's out there. And that wasn't because it's a anti-Republican, anti-conservative movement. It's because we wanted to get back to those core Republican principles. And there's a lot of people that have a hard time going, oh, well, I can't be a Republican because of all the rhinos.
Right.
And I hate that name, but it's an accurate description sometimes. So I don't know if you call a moderate Republican or a left-leaning Republican, you know?
Yep. So this guy that I'm talking about that she sent me is his name is Tom McDonald, and he actually has a song right now that Ben Shapiro is in with him, and it's called Facts. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because, and even at work, I mean, I work with guys that, and I'm a little bit older than them, so sometimes I call them kids, but they're not kids. They're grown men, anywhere from the age of 23 all the way up to 36. So I'm a little bit older than them. Know I'm the staunch age of 43, but anyway, what Kit's um purpose of showing me this is when you talk to these people, like most of the guys that I work with, they can't even remember the last time they voted. So if we're going to save this nation, oh man, these things are just fighting me tonight. I'm sorry. If we're going to save this nation, we need to get our young people involved, right?
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of them have no idea. I mean, they're starting to finally figure out that they were lied to, right?
Yep.
Whether, I mean, you pick a side on whatever you want to. They're starting to figure that out. Well, this guy here, this Tom McDonald, this song is like number 1 or number 2 on the charts right now. And so she was saying that he doesn't look like your typical person that's gonna show up to these events or whatever, or be informed, but he's exactly what we need to help um, save this country because the youth are listening to him, and even though that maybe the, how do you want to say it, the, I don't even know if the establishment isn't even the right word, but maybe the older generation doesn't agree with maybe how he looks because he's not stereotypical politician in a suit and tie and all that. He, but he resonates with the young people, and the young people are listening to him. Does that
Well,
make sense?
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, taking that a step further, you look what the former GOP chair did to our young Republicans. Uh,
Mhm.
removed their seat at the table just because they didn't back Baszler. It was a tongue-in-cheek thing that they had done, and so they were removed from their seat at the table at the GOP. And
Mhm.
that they fought hard to get that seat, but at the same point, like just because they didn't agree with the chair, they got
Right.
everything taken away, which those young Republicans, man, there's a lot of them that
Oh,
have a lot of
sorry.
fire.
I hit my mic. I apologize.
No, there's a lot of them with a lot of fire, and that was one of the cool things I did see when I was running. I got to talk with a lot of them, and
Mhm.
what you see posted in opinion pieces versus the young men and women that are out there fighting for you folks, that's two different things.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
there's gonna come a time, and we had a discussion a couple days ago about this at work. There, I know I kind of sound like a broken record, but there is gonna come a time where it's not gonna be party versus party. It's good versus evil, and you're gonna have to decide what side you're gonna be on. And I guarantee you, there's probably gonna be some guys like that Tom McDonald. He's all tattooed up, but you know what? Those are the guys that I want on my side. The true patriot. I mean, they bleed for this country, and that's it's kind of where I'll leave that. But it shed a new light in all this craziness that we had this weekend after the Friday show, and everyone was all worked up and stuff. And so I would just guess what I'm trying to say is let's just take a deep breath. Yeah, we're all not gonna agree on everything. Obviously, I mean that's been proven time and time again with this show. We still get people commenting and stuff on the replays, and that's fine. That's fine. But keep it civil. So,
oh, we,
and yes, I am crazy.
but you're not suicidal.
Right. I'm not suicidal.
Oh,
Uh, I
oh,
am crazy, but I'm not suicidal. So, mm,
but
but no.
folks, when we talk about stuff, whether it's the elections or if it's about petitions, or we just want you to look at the information, look at the facts. Like if we really wanted to get into deep diving, we could pull up some of the harder evidence that's sitting out there, but that stuff's still sitting in possible litigation too. So I can't really talk about some of the stuff that I've found and turned over to the people that are fighting on this yet. So maybe someday.
No,
But when I say that there's issues with absentee ballots, I got a case in point. We had primary of 22. There was somebody that voted willfully out of district using absentee ballots, even though they had
mhm,
purchased a home on the other side of Bismarck in February of that year. And what struck me as odd is like I've seen the confirmation email that their ballot was received, it was accepted, it was approved, yada yada yada. But when we're at the Ronna McDaniel's event that was hosted, they were telling me that they've been living down there since February. So I knew they were out of district while they were sitting there talking to me.
mhm.
So it's happening, folks. It is. But to get any of that information is like pulling teeth. 1/3 of the state auditors responded when I asked all my questions in 22. We had a former election director sending out emails, and I have the email to all of the state's attorneys and state's auditors telling them how to avoid open records requests, folks.
Marvin, you're sounding crazy again.
Yeah, well, I have the email. And it actually got presented as evidence to the senators that were hearing Magram's bills, and they still didn't do anything with it.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know, but he was fuming in the background when I read it live.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. Like, it's out there. We want transparency.
Yep. I
So
mean, it's just like Michael Howe getting on the radio a couple weeks ago and saying that the machines can't get on the internet. It's a flat lie.
yeah.
Flat lie. And yet he won't come on the show. We can't have a conversation. And that's what bothers me the most is that the arrogance of these people in some of these offices. I mean, they're supposed to, work for the people, right? And again, it goes back to, yeah, we might not agree on everything, but we have the proof to back up what we're saying, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's all that matters. But I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's frustrating all the time,
yeah.
but we wouldn't be doing this if it didn't need to be done.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I guarantee you there's other things you'd like to be doing tonight than sitting here looking at me, right?
Well, you're getting me out of painting right now. So,
Oh, I see. As long as I'm getting you out of work, huh? Yeah, that's funny.
uh,
Well, when are you gonna come up and paint my wall? I'm gonna redo this, what I call our studio down here in my basement. So I'm hoping to have a new look here pretty soon. So that means probably a year from now, by the way
well,
I go.
considering what you pay, I'm gonna be rattle canning if I come help you. You're gonna get what
Oh,
you get.
get what I get and don't throw a fit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a whole bunch of pink and blue rattle cans upstairs that we can put through your
Oh, geez. No, I'm not. I don't need pink and blue. I already got
daughter would
purple and
love
green and yellow down here from when the daycare was down here. So,
your daughter
mm,
would love it.
well, I don't know. Maybe purple, but not pink. She's not too much into pink anymore. It's kind of funny because she's got a pink wall in her room, but at
Oh,
any rate.
So, for those of you guys that are just hanging out again, Friday we have a guest that we're not getting into yet, but they're coming on. I'm excited to hear what they have to say. They've been kicking this can around for about a year, but they haven't formally announced yet. So we're just going to wait till Friday and let them do their thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, we have the Bridge to Nowhere. And then Friday, we have Alexis Wangler from Health Freedom, North Dakota. And then tomorrow night, hopefully, we will be live streaming candidate speeches at the District 47 convention. Just so you guys, Wangler, what did I say? Alexis Wangler. Um, but yeah, Wednesday night, tomorrow night, we will be live streaming from District 47 just so you guys can hear candidates talk and hear what they have to say.
Do you got an AI person up there talking to you to?
No, I have my
Oh.
wife across the phone.
I know. I'm just giving her a hard time.
In my defense, on Facebook, she's Lexi Liberty. So check her out. Check out what they're going to be doing, guys.
Yeah. And then District 2, again, their endorsing convention is the 24th at 3 p.m. at the Tioga Community Center. So if you
Yep.
guys are out and about, where's yours? What district is yours again?
47. 7
47.
o'clock tomorrow night at Century High School.
All right. Don't be afraid to come up to Marv and say hi if you're there. But
Don't
we'll
kick me
be.
on the fence.
So I will not be there, but we will be
Well,
live streaming.
and my district's interesting because I mean Al's in our district, Al Jagger's in our district.
Mm.
I believe Drew Wrigley's in our district. I think Kevin's in our district. There's a lot of busy GOP members in our district.
Maybe they want to come on and have a roundtable discussion.
They won't come on. But even like John Lee with the school board is in my district here in Bismarck. So it should be a good district convention. And I'm hoping that we get all the statewide candidates there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to see. I remember 2 years ago in Hazen, they had all of them. They all showed up. Rick Becker spoke that night. Hovind didn't make it, but he sent a little speech on the TV. But we had Drew Wrigley and Armstrong and Michael Howe. And gosh, there seems to be one more that I'm missing. Anyway, they were all there. It was something to see.
Well, and like the only one I know for sure that's not going to be there is Lori because she's actually at a national event right now, but her husband's going to be filling in via proxy to give her speech for the committee woman
Yeah.
position. So I don't know if Shane will be there or not, but
I wonder if she'll send the spoon with him.
oh, I'm sure. But yeah, I know she left I think Monday night for that. So I talked to
Yeah.
her weekend and she's going to be out of town for our convention. But
Gotcha.
she made sure I was going.
She made sure you were going.
Yeah, she did.
Well, that's all right too. That's all right too. So, well, Marvin, that's about all I have. I don't. You have anything else you want to comment on, or?
No, because I don't know how long tomorrow night's going to run. So we'll be doing 3 shows this week. Tonight was supposed to be shorter, and here we are 45 minutes later.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's because we talk a lot.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like that.
for the record, Shiloh, if I ever
Mm-hmm.
run for office again, I'm not shaving this.
Why not?
Because I shaved it once for running for office. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
Especially when I couldn't use the campaign slogan and I shaved my face for this.
Yeah. No comment. That's funny. I didn't think about that. You know. Yeah,
All
if I ever shave, you can see my double chin. So
yeah.
I gotta diet or something before I shave again. So But
Anyway, folks, that's enough random rambling. Yo,
you bet. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow night
yeah,
and then again on Friday.
yeah. Tomorrow I won't be commenting. It's just literally going to be camera and audio, folks.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. You guys have a good evening and we'll see you tomorrow.